Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for June 5, 2025, the Asset Cap Lifted Edition. And we begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal Markets and Finance section. Gina Heeb reporting that Wells Fargo is going to be allowed to grow again after a 7-year asset cap was lifted. Federal regulators have moved to lift this punishment that handcuffed growth at Wells Fargo, a milestone in the bank's effort to repair its tarnished reputation after its fake account scandals erupted nearly a decade ago. The Federal Reserve Board of Governors voted to remove the restriction that had capped the bank's asset at around $2 trillion. It was the most severe rebuke ever handed down after the bank's disclosure that it had opened millions of unauthorized customer accounts, fired people for failing to do so, and engaged in widespread customer abuses, fraud, abuse, and compliance breakdowns. So, kudos to Wells Fargo for getting out of this asset cap. Next up, from the Financial Times, the Swiss government Friday will lay out long-awaited reforms to the country's bank rules, and the centerpiece proposal will affect just one company, UBS. Switzerland's Federal Council and financial regulators have been at loggerheads with the company's largest and one of the most important companies since last year when they proposed strengthening the company's banking system in the wake of Credit Suisse demise. The uncertainty has weighed on UBS's share price, with the stock falling 3% over the last year. The draft legislation will set out a series of measures as a part of a too-big-to-fail package. By far the most important will be the proposals for how much loss-absorbing capital UBS will have to have. So we will wait and see what the Swiss banking folks lay out for UBS. In a very interesting article from BusinessInsider, it reports that middle manager jobs are changing, and it's a career opportunity for middle managers for millennials and Gen Zers. The broader economic transformation and with AI will fundamentally change what it means to be a middle manager. While a large number of companies may lay these folks off and lead to a great flattening, reflecting a broader push to reduce costs, some corporate executives say these moves will make organizations more efficient. At the same time, companies are grappling with the rise of AI tools and how they will reshape business operations. And this great flattening, of course, has impacted many, but Gen Zs and millennials are uniquely suited to have a greater say. And they may even be sort of the it generation now. I don't find this too difficult to understand, and I hope they will use it going forward. And our final story is that Colombian prosecutors are investigating EcoPetrol SA contract related to surveillance of company's executives and putting pressure on the company's CEO for a contract that came in at $875,000 and is now over $6 million. So more EcoPetrol woes. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.